Hi there, my name is Sam Claydon, and I've been working on a game called This Little Car of Mine. The game centres around scattering the ashes of a loved one as you drive across a Cornish-inspired landscape and discover the memories of the past. I've been working on this game for about, it's been 100 days since I started development in terms of prototyping. That wasn't full-time development, it was very much part-time development, just testing out ideas. But I managed to showcase what I've got so far, very much in a prototype state, at Impact Indie Games in Bristol. It was really nice to showcase my game and get some feedback. It was the first time I actually had anything playable for the public to play, and other game developers as well, which was really nice. So I basically want to make this game the best it can be. I want to make sure that everyone has a nice and enjoyable experience when playing a game about grief. And I know it's a very tricky space to be in if you're trying to play a cozy game and it's got darker themes. It's quite hard to get into that headspace there. It is a cozy game and a relaxing experience for the player. So my idea is to not have anything like chasing you and making sure that the stress levels are not high. So when you're playing this game, you can have a nice experience, enjoy the environments around you, and basically just go on a drive exploring those memories you shared with that person. Now, the game is definitely not even ready for a demo, I would say. It is getting there. The prototype featured one of the levels in the game that you essentially drive around and collect those memory orbs. To get some feedback on controls, and people didn't really enjoy the controls, and I fully understand that. I'm not a programmer, so I sort of had like Scalextric controls with the joystick, but I don't think it was the way to go. So I will change it to be the triggers, because everyone loves the triggers in driving games. So I will change that to fit that better. In terms of story, I've got the game planned out in terms of how I want the narrative to progress. The game features 7 stages of grief that parallel with different locations you go to. This game is completely fiction, but it does take some inspiration from my own life. But as I said in the previous devlog, everyone's experiences of grief are very different from person to person. So if you've had experiences of grief before, this little car of mine might not be the same experience you dealt with. And in terms of dealing with grief, I wouldn't say this game is going to necessarily be the answer to helping you with your grief. There are many websites out there that can help you with that. I did a small private playtest where I got developers and also QA testers to give the game a go. They did not disappoint with finding bugs. There were some really ones I hadn't seen before, and especially escaping the map was a number one, and a lot of performance issues. I really need to work on getting the game running really well, or driving really well, because at the moment it doesn't run entirely as I want it to. But the game has come a long way since I started development on it. I'm really proud of how much I've got done in this project so far. And this little car of mine is still in development. It's still a prototype, so there will be lots more added, fixed, and improved for the next devlog. I've also finally opened my Patreon, so all of the games that I've done for my shorts and TikTok videos where I do my games that weren't, where I talk about games that previously never made it anywhere. I didn't even share them online. They were very much like not thrown away. I was going to say throw away. No, in the archive. So on my Patreon, I am showcasing even more clips from the games that I haven't fully produced and fully developed. It's a really nice way for you to support me as a developer as I create this game. In terms of game development, I would love to have this as a full-time job, and I don't think I could do that without anybody watching. So thank you for watching, and check out my Patreon if you want. Even if you just want to support me, I'd really appreciate that. But yes, I've also got exclusive prototype builds on there as well, talking of other stuff I was working on that aren't related to games. Well, it's somewhat related to games. I sort of got into modding Game Boy Advance consoles. So I had my old original blue one from back in the day. My Game Boy Advance SP was from, and it was on its last legs. It was quite old, but I did a video the other day where I showcased my sort of creation of my new one. I'm building a new shell, But I'm really happy with the colour palette. So have a look at this. I've never fully created a Game Boy Advance SP before, but I'm really happy with. Let me open it up. Let me open it up. But yeah, I really like what I've done. I'm happy with it. It's unrelated to my game, but I hope you like it. Before I go, I want to have a brief discussion on a side project I was working on. It's very much like my weekends. I've been working on this game called the Calcium Crusader, and it takes inspiration from games such as Majora's Mask and other N64 titles. And it is very much like a passion project, and if you want to see more of that game, there are screenshots and special video clips on my Patreon if you want to have a look. Thank you for watching, and if you want to subscribe and keep up to date with my stuff, I would appreciate that. That'd be very nice. That'd be very cool. We're so close to 200 subscribers. How crazy is that? What? I'm gonna have a massive party when it gets to 200. Yep. A big old shindig. That everyone's invited to. All 200 of you. No, I can't say that online because then people just appear. I hope that doesn't stop you from subscribing. Check out my Patreon if you want to see some more behind the scenes stuff, and potentially some of these prototype builds will be put on there in terms of this little car of mine. So thank you for watching. Until the next one. Bye bye.